Hi guys, I'm Tammy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm teaching you how to paint these whimsical and loose style of daffodils. So stick around, let's get to it. So I have a lovely brush here. I would suggest it's probably a number 12 maybe. This is a German brush and the sizing is very different. And it's pretty long also. It's a nice round brush, has a good point. So we're gonna start with our daffodils. We're gonna add in the trumpets first. And I want them to be, pretty intensely colored, and we will do them a dark yellow. Let's actually add in a little orange too. So I'm gonna spray this down. I was filming before and it got dried out already. So we will spray it and drop this spray bottle on the ground and, move forward. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do a trumpet and it's gonna be just right up here at the top. So we are going to start thinner and get a little bit thicker as we go outward with this flower. And then what I like to do, take off some of that paint, is make that top part, which is kind of like this cute little not star, but curly design. So anyway, we're gonna do that. We're gonna rinse our brush, and then I'm just gonna use that wet brush to start, it's a little bit too damp, start bringing that color down. And we'll just leave it how it is for right now, okay? Let's do another one. And this is so bright yellow, look at that. A little bit of orange. Okay, let's do another one kind of facing this way. So we're gonna do that same trumpet, skinny, getting a little bit wider as you go up. And then we're gonna do that a little bit of a damp brush here. It's a little too wet, so we just dab our brush and then we just do a little bit of that action there, fill in it, most of it. And then for the next one, we're going to do a bloom that is facing us. So we're gonna do that cool star-shaped pattern right here. And just kind of leave it how it is for now. All right, we have lots of paint on our brush. We're going to rinse that brush. And I'd like to do the petals, but really light, or at least lighter than those middles. So we're gonna start with this top one here, and we're going to start adding in a lovely petal and making it really light and watery and airy, a lot of water. And you don't have to, you can even make it a little pointed. You don't even have to fill in the petals all if you don't want to. We're just making this really cute, whimsical. We have another petal that's going to be showing up around this side, just like that. And we'll fill it in as this is drying. I don't want to really touch that right now. There's going to be another petal here, a bit shorter. And then we're going to have two more, okay? And I'm just trying to make sure that we can kind of differentiate between one petal and the next. All right, and I'm just adding it a little whimsy by creating just a little bit of a curvature that kind of pops up at a point. And again, okay, I'm going to take off some of that water, dab it. And again, with my petals, I'm not necessarily filling in all of them, okay? So this one needs to be filled in, but we're just kind of waiting, but it's okay. We'll just do it. There we go. Lots of petals happening here. Nice little point. Pretty loose style as well so far. Let's go to the next one. A little extra water in there. This one is going to be that same type of situation. So we're going to do a nice little petal that comes out like that. Curving up, filling it in a little bit more. Right there. Okay, filling that in. All right, awesome. And now we have one that's right there. It looks a little bit smaller because of the perspective maybe, I don't know. All right, and then a little bit extra water, make it a little bit lighter. Another one here. Almost feels like I am painting a butterfly, right? Do you guys get that feeling? Kind of looks like there's a butterfly situation happening, I don't know. And maybe we're getting a little bit darker. That's okay though. Just a little bit of a petal here, and maybe we just see the tip of it. on this side. I don't know. We're just filling it in lightly. Just kind of experimenting here. Filling that one in. Oh, pretty little flower. So we will make the trumpet darker too, so we can kind of differentiate pretty well between one and another. One and the other. So here we're going to do, this is a front facing. So we have our lovely petal shape. Then we're going to do another 2 over here. So it's like sets of 3. It almost looks like a fan. All right, and then we're gonna do 1, 2, 3 more. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And these are kind of behind maybe, so we can define things a little bit later with details, and then you'll be able to see that really nicely. I hope, right? That's the hope. That is the hope with this whole thing. So yeah, I'm totally getting like butterfly vibes here. Okay, all right, so there we go. And you know, they have a nice little kind of whimsical feel to them, I hope. That's what I'm kind of going for too. Let's go ahead and do some little buds. So these are pretty thin and like long. And they can be a little pointed at the top if you want. I'm gonna angle another one this way. That one's got a lot of liquid. I'm sopping it up with a clean down brush. There we go. And let's do another one right here. And let's do another one right over this way, just a little bit side facing to the side. Okay, let's mix up our green. So I've got a really dark green on my palette, but let's grab some sap green, my favorite, and let's see how that's looking. So I'm gonna add in a good amount of pigment. That's getting pretty thick. I'm gonna add in some water to thin it out a bit. Added in some more pigment, of course. And we're just gonna start painting in some of our lovely stems. So if your flower is facing this way, your stem underneath the leaf or underneath the petal would be hitting right there. So you wanna meet it right there at the bottom. So it is definitely centered. The stem is centered within the flower. I like to curve it around just to give it a fun little pizzazz. And I'm going to try to get all my stems to kind of go curve downward like it's in a bouquet or something. Okay, so then this one here, same thing, angled down here. And then this guy can just be just like that. All right, and then of course we've got our buds. We're just gonna follow through. And if your stem skips like that, I think that's pretty. Do it, allow it to happen. We'll just attach this one right there. It's okay if it blobs a lot of paint, no worries. We're just having a fun, chill time. And then we've got this guy coming in. Whoop, he touched the other one, that's okay. And we have our lovely stems happening. Okay. Next thing on the docket is we want to start making our leaves. And I feel like we're going to need more leaves. Okay? More leaves, meaning more paint for the leaves. Let's just talk about what I really mean, guys. Okay. That's what I meant to say. All right. So I'm going to press down the belly and we're just going to start riding this little paint train kind of all the way up-ish. No, halfway up. What am I saying? It's getting late, guys. I'm filming at night and I'm getting a little loony bins. Okay, let's do another one. Kind of thicker here. And we're going to try to follow it up like that. And then we're going to do another one right here. And just let it connect down, I think. Would be good. And let's do another one over here. Just kind of trailing off, not really connected to anything. It doesn't have to be connected. If you want it to be, you can always connect it, you know, down here. If that makes you feel better, which is totally fine. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. It's nice to do, you know, sets of 3, sets of 5, just so that you're not having some matchy things happening, but you have some odd numbers. That tends to be most attractive to the eyeball and makes a good composition. So that doesn't mean I'm not going to add more leaves. I can, and I will actually. I'm actually going to add one right here. Just a little fat one there that maybe connects back down over here. So I'm thinking I do want to add one down here, but not straight parallel. That might be kind of boring. I'm going to get a little closer here and just go off like that. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves, and I'm liking that. Let's just leave it like that for now. And this is where we want to add in our green that kind of crisscrosses here as our bud is starting to emerge. And this is still wet, so we're not going to go there for now. I'm going to go over here and crisscross that green part as well. Okay, let's continue with, what are we doing here? This is still a little wet. If you want to add in a little extra, a little darker green, you can go for it at this point. For some of these that are already drier. And I'm honestly just kind of letting the brush flop around. I'm not worried too much about the shapes that are coming out of this. And if some of these leaves are too wet for the darker to really show up and it's just gonna kind of blend, that can be pretty too. So we're just trying different things. And I like to darken up so that we have some definition. We have some shadows possibly happening on our greens, on our leaves, on our petals, and just creates a more interesting painting. So if you want to darken up your stems, you can. Mine are pretty dark. You know, when I added that in, I like how they kind of transitioned into little sketchy lines. And I'm kind of going with that, continuing on with that little trend. Just adding a little extra, we'll see how that goes. Okay, this one is actually pretty dry. So we're gonna do a little bit more of that green. Don't be too worried about it. Don't be too strict on yourself or hard on yourself. Just add it in. And we're gonna work on the trumpets now. I call them the trumpets because that's what they are to me. So some nice orangey yellow, adding in a little bit more of that bright yellow. Let's see how that goes. And I think that'll work. So I just, I don't know if I want to use this brush. Maybe. Yeah, why not? Oh, that is so thick. Actually, I might just go with that. I might just be filling this in anyway, completely. And now there's a lot of water on my brush, which means once it dries, there's not going to be as much pigment, but maybe that's okay. You know, we already started with our first layer of color, which was really light. And now we're adding in that second layer just to make that trumpet really stand out and come to life. And this part is just simply, I'm going to dip in here, going to be the curvature, right? That little funky shape in the middle that looks kind of like, I don't know, a crown of thorns. That's what I'm looking at right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, and I'm gonna need to fill that in when that is dry. So here's the thing now. We could add in some lovely line details. I'm actually gonna switch to number 8 round. And we could leave things light how they are, or we could add in some line details. We wanna add in a really dark orangey center too, because that's what you would see inside the flower if you were to take a look. So I'm just stippling in a round-ish center with some texture as well. And I just dripped on my paper, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. All right, it'll dry okay. All right, so to differentiate a little bit between the petals, we can do a little bit of that. I'm just gonna take more of a darker yellow. I don't think I wanna do too much today, so I've got a pretty watery mix. I'm just going to kind of just define some of these petals, all right? Just a little bit. I do like keeping it light, not usually, but I like the look right now. And so I think I might do that today. I don't know why I'm whispering. I don't know why. I honestly don't know. So just adding in a little bit more of a layer. It's gonna still dry fast. It's gonna dry lighter. This is still a little wet, but it'll still darken up some things. If that spreads, that's okay. It's watercolor. It's supposed to spread and bleed. It's meant to do that. So that's fine. We'll just add a little bit of yellow in the middle and see how that goes, right? Okay, a little bit more here. You can encourage some bleeding if you want by touching, the wet color to the wet color. And what I'm doing right now is just simply, I'm trying to go fast so that I'm not, worried too much about, I guess, the way that I'm doing this. So I'm just doing some thin lines here and some thicker. Sometimes I just press down with my brush to get some cool brush strokes, some thicker brush strokes. And that's really what I'm going for here. I do want my buds to have the same treatment. So this would be kind of our mid-tones. And if you wanted to do darker ones, you would add just more paint. This one is very green already. You would add more paint and less water, and then you'd have a darker tone to go over the top again if you wanted to. So that's totally up to you if you're feeling that today. If not, you can just leave it how it is. I'm gonna let things dry and just tackle the center a little bit. We'll be right back. So now that this should be pretty dry, I just wanted to paint a little bit in the center. I don't want the white space, right? So I have to be quick because this is gonna start spreading. I just want a little bit of color. And there we go, that's fine. That's basically all I wanted to do there. I'm just making sure that had a good center. Okay, so the last thing, and if you don't like the shape of your flower, just extend it. Just extend it. Just fix it, just change it, just make it a little bit different. You can do that. You're allowed to do that. All right, okay, moving on. We're almost done here. I've just got a really nice orangey yellow mix here. And we're gonna do some splatter and then we're done. So I'm going to just do that right now to get the excess liquid off. And then we're just gonna tap our brush around the white spaces to give these flowers a little extra oomph, a little whimsical look. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this daffodil tutorial, and I'll see you guys on the next video.